In this video, we will see how the new electromyography measurement protocols from Endurance work. Thanks to these protocols, we can carry out standardized sessions among professionals, automatically repeat evaluations that we perform regularly, and know what to measure according to the clinical objective or the patient's pathology. We will have protocols predefined by Endurance as well as protocols created and edited by the user themselves. From now on, Endurance offers two modes of operation. The classic test, where we manually select muscles and exercises, just as we have always done. And protocols which provide a structured, guided, and standardized evaluation. So we can access the protocols from three places. From Start Session, using the Protocols button, from the bottom menu under Programs and Protocols, from the Patient section by selecting a patient and clicking on Start Protocols, we can start it. Within the Protocol section, we will see key filters to help choose the most suitable one. Pathology is the most important filter. Within pathology, we will find the most common pathologies found in clinics, which will allow us to filter the protocols assigned to those pathologies. Laterality will be another important filter, which will allow us to choose those protocols that are bilateral, meaning we will measure muscles on both the right and left sides of the body, or those that are unilateral. In these cases, we will carefully choose, depending on the patient, whether we want to measure the muscles on the right side or the left side of the body. This allows us to select the most appropriate side for assessment. We will also have a filter that allows us to filter by muscles of interest. And another filter where we can select those protocols that are created by Endurance or those created by the user themselves. We will also have a search section for convenience to search directly by names. The elements that make up a protocol are the name, which generally includes detailed clinical information about the specific objective or intended purpose of that protocol, whether it is designed to be bilateral, meaning it applies to both sides of the body, or unilateral, meaning it applies to only one side, the total number of muscles included or targeted in the protocol, the duration of the protocol's exercises. That is, the total amount of time we will spend performing all of the exercises within the protocol. And, finally, the creator or author who developed the protocol. We will also see which muscles will be measured in that protocol and which exercises will be performed. Additionally, we will have an image to help us identify the protocol. If we click on the protocol details, we will find precise clinical instructions for carrying it out. A detailed and comprehensive description is also provided, along with the description of each exercise, the number of repetitions to be performed, how we should do it, and a clear image to make it absolutely clear how to perform the protocol's exercises. We can choose to select one or several different exercises or one or several different protocols to execute. And once selected, the first thing we will see is the preview screen. On this screen, we will see the name of the exercise, the recommended number of repetitions to be completed, and precise step-by-step instructions for performing it correctly and safely. We will also see information about whether the metronome feature has been selected for this exercise, and if so, the preset rhythm that has been configured. For example, if it says rhythm 30, it means a beep will sound at regular intervals, specifically every 2 seconds, to help you maintain a consistent pace throughout the exercise. Also, by clicking on the speaker icon, we can test and listen to the indicated rhythm, to allow the patient to become familiar with the execution and to check if it is indeed the correct pace. If it is not, we can adjust it. If we do not want to perform the exercise with a metronome, we can deactivate it without any problem. On this screen, we will also see the placement of the sensors. This will indicate which muscle each channel of each sensor corresponds to, also showing us the color that muscle will have in the subsequent graph. We can use this data for our analysis or review purposes. However, if we want to modify or adjust the channel configuration settings, we simply have to click on each individual muscle, and then we will be able to make the necessary changes or adjustments as needed. These changes can be applied either to the entire session as a whole, or only to the specific exercise that we are currently working on or focusing on. In addition, we will have an anatomical guide where we can find detailed instructions on how to place the electrodes on each muscle. Once this is done, we can start the exercise. This preview screen is completely optional and is provided for your convenience. If we wish, we can easily disable it at any time. To disable this preview feature, we simply need to go to the settings menu and turn off or deactivate the preview function. This allows us to customize our experience according to our preferences. In that case, a window will appear on the screen, showing us exactly how to set up and configure the exercises for the very first exercise. Within the execution of the protocols, everything will work as usual. We can select analysis, we can select biofeedback, we can record with video, and we can work with the execution section just as before. Regarding unilateral protocols, there is an interesting detail. When we select a unilateral protocol, we will need to define which side we want the protocol to be carried out on. This can be done globally for the entire protocol, or you can choose individually for each exercise, or even in more detail, muscle by muscle. We recommend selecting it globally for the entire protocol, as this is much simpler and much more replicable. Of course, in addition to the protocols, we can still perform a classic test as usual. We can select the classic test from the menu by tapping on Classic Test. We can also do this by tapping on Protocols and scrolling to the Exercises section or in Patients. By starting the classic test,